Hello, everyone.
So, I can't say it now because when we get to that part, the color blue and St. Patrick's Day. Spoiler alert. Anyway.
Welcome to another live
Hello.
Esoteric Liminal Horizons. I am Whitney. This is Braden.
This is Braden. I'm just getting onto the live page.
You're also going to have the pictures.
That's okay.
You're in charge of
I
pictures.
can jump between the two.
Okay.
My phone's big enough. It does the things.
We are continuing our journey of exploring spring around the world, and today we are in Ireland.
I can't. I'm sorry.
That was liquid. I got scared. Oh, I like that. This is more like news anchor style.
This just in.
We are in Ireland.
Are
Exploring spring in Ireland. Yep.
Exploring spring in Ireland.
So, oh man, I'm trying not to jump ahead. We're going to start with the spring holiday in Ireland. Hello, Nikki. Nikki's here. Oh, that's exciting. Hi, Nikki. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
So St. Brigid's Day. Is it Brigid or Brigid?
Bridge. I'm
Brigid.
like 90% sure it's Brigid.
Oh gosh.
With the hard
I want to
G.
say Brigid. Wouldn't that be awesome if I was right?
Let's find out. I could see that being the case because, well, we can't get into that either until we get to that point. Give me a second, guys.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna keep going with Brigid until I'm proven wrong. I think it's Brigid.
Well, or proven right.
Or proven right. There you go.
Yeah.
So Saint Brigid is one of the 3 national Irish saints, and she is the only female saint in Ireland. And as of 2023, it is now the Irish celebration of women as well. You previously couldn't get it off because it wasn't considered a recognized holiday, but as of 2023, St. Brigid's Day is also celebrating the Irish women around the world, and it is on February 1st.
It's Brigid. Or, that's the English pronunciation. Irish spelling is Brid. Middle Irish is Brigid, but they're not giving.
Brigid.
But they're going to tell me about the soft B, but they're not.
Brigid. It's Brigid.
Why does it say a soft
B? It's not
B?
Brigid. It's Brigid.
What's a hard B?
Well, you know what?
Why would they even mention the J? I'm trying to find out about the J. Yeah, me too. And
I told you right there with the J.
I mean, yeah, I get that too, but like, what was the point of the B?
Brigid.
It's taking me. I will have to bunny trail that some other time.
But
oh, hey, look at that. We could just let it say it out loud. Oh, sorry, I have my whatchamacallit on, guys. My bad.
Saint Brigid.
Oh! Now we know.
Well, that's not the pronunciation that Google said.
Yeah, well,
but
Google also said soft B, and we like, what's a hard B for starters? And also, why does that pertain to
the? Do it again, just for everybody.
Okay, all right. Where's the speaker? I'm pushing it. I pushed it.
Saint Brigid.
Brigid. I was proven wrong and right. So you know what?
I don't know. That's where you started earlier today.
That's okay. Saint Brigid.
I'd say you nailed it.
Saint Brigid. The name Brigid translates to the exalted one, and man is she, because she, as a saint, is known for having the most causes that she is behind. Just a couple of them being healing, poetry, and dairy production. The saint of dairy production.
Go ice cream. Oh, sorry.
Milk.
Well, I mean,
and whatever you use it for.
Cheese. Butter.
Many of the medieval accounts say that she started several convents in Ireland, one of them being in Kildare, where she maintained a sacred fire. So it looked like you went like up one.
No. I know I got an eye. It's probably the bottom eyelash. It's always the bottom one.
And then you gotta like pull and get at it.
Okay, I think we're good.
A sacred fire. a sacred fire, this saint. And she's also been believed to have founded the first convent in Ireland on Croghan Hill. And medieval hagiography, which I had to look up. If you don't know what that is, it's a very admiring book where you are exalted, you are venerated. That word keeps coming up.
Idolized.
The person is represented as perfect or much better than they really are. So
like New York Times status, or
like Greek mythology, kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm just comparing it to like a modern day item, like New York Times, the Hagology, or something to that degree. I don't know. New York Times isn't really a new thing anymore. It's not like an amazing thing. I'm getting off track.
I can't remember any of the discrepancies between the different newses. There's also a thing between the different news channels. One of them leans certain ways, and
no, I mean New York Times, like the magazine, like getting on the cover of the New York Times. The same
okay,
thing as
wow. I went newspaper.
I forget that that's like also part of their whole thing. I just remember in movies growing up, everyone was like, "I'm going to be on the cover of New York Times."
Right, you're going to put their best foot forward, and we're going to. They're what is it? Oh, there's an embodying, emblazing, embellishing. There you go. They're embellishing the stories a lot.
That's fun.
But in the embellished stories, it says that she is a real person. She even has a date of birth and a place of birth, and she in those stories is born in 451 AD, north of Dundalk, Ireland. But because of the kinds of stories that we have to go off of her and all the facts that we can pull from it, lots of scholars still debate on whether or not she's even real. But most records are anecdotal, and they contain elements of supernatural, and they share an uncanny resemblance to the Celtic goddess Brigid. Part of that being the sacred fire. Brigid? Because proven right, proven wrong. Brigid.
I would think it would still be Brigid.
They're spelled the same.
I would, because I mean, if it came from the Irish to loop in the rope in the Irish, they wouldn't change the name. They would just incorporate her in. She is now Saint Brigid. She has a place under our umbrella, you wonderful people, you.
Yes, the similarities are so striking that most of the assumptions are that the Catholic Church appropriated the legend of the goddess Brigid.
That shit. Yep, they were like, "We'll take this, thank you. Come on over here if you want her back."
There seemed to be a lot of that happened anyways, because Ireland went through a couple different hands. And who was owning it, and who was putting the rules down.
Yep, for a hot minute there.
We'll get more into that as we talk about St. Patrick. But for spring in Ireland, Imbolc is...
Real quick, guys, just to throw this out there. This is a Catholic celebrated tradition, as well as now a national tradition for Women's Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just like throw that back into the mix, because we are talking about
all the things that she
and it is Saint Brigid, so I guess that is pretty self-explanatory now that I think about it. But hey, for those of you who are like me and needed it heard,
Saint Brigid.
Saint Brigid.
And the goddess Brigid.
Brigid, meet Brigid.
Brigid. But Imbolc is the old pagan spring holiday. It is one of the 4 fire festivals in the Celtic tradition, and the other 3 being Beltane, which is on the first Monday in May, and Lunasa on the first Monday in August, and Samhain, which we all know today as Halloween.
And then the other thing that's associated with Miss Brigid, I like that we're just throwing them both out there anyway. It's great. It's already been a thing.
They're both. It's both.
It is what it is at this point. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because, okay.
Yeah.
That just connected. Jeez. But they have the St. Brigid cross, and it's normally made out of rushes or straw. and it's held above your doorway to offer protection as well as other things that I cannot remember on the list.
That Saint Brigid will protect you.
Yes, that too, but there was like a good sizable list of the things that like the symbolism behind said cross, and I had that pulled up. I think I closed all my tabs because I get
And
stressed.
the picture of it, because the cross is made with 4 legs and they're intersecting with the square in the center. So if you can,
Yep, I'll bust out a picture for that.
It's made out of straw brush. So that is the Saint Brigid cross,
based off of Celtic tie knot dealios associated with the
So the common
goddess.
ritual is to weave a new cross on Saint Brigid's Day, and then you hang it up in the rafters until next Saint Brigid's Day, in which you will weave a new cross and replace the old one.
I did not know that.
And traditionally, girls and unmarried women would get together and they would weave a Brigid doll. It has a name. I don't think I wrote that down, but it translates to Little Brigid. So they, out of straw, will weave the Little Brigid doll, and they'll also weave like a little bed for the doll to lay in, and all the girls and the unmarried women in the parish will get together, or of the neighborhood, and they'll stay up all night with a fire with the doll. And the next day they take the doll and welcome it through the town. They'll walk through the town and welcome it into their home.
I didn't know that either. Man, I tried finding stuff on St. Brigid's Day, and I really only ever came across the cross for symbolism. I didn't see anything on a doll. It frustrates me. Even going back here and looking it up while you're talking, it didn't pop up on my search list.
Yeah, it's cross-referencing, man. You gotta, I don't know. I like notes. I like having the notes. I want to bring you guys as many facts as I can when it comes to stuff like this. So
I shy away from stuff like this. It's very much like school trauma things that I got to work through.
It had to be something I was passionate about. I am passionate about all the different ways that the cultures celebrate different things and how they're all intertwined. And I think it's cool to go around the world and look at the different ways spring is celebrated, but also how similar it is.
I enjoy learning about it. I don't enjoy writing out notes about it.
Yeah. Well, this is a presentation. I'm speaking in front of the class.
I know, and you're doing a great job. You nailed it. Hardcore.
Oh, thanks, friend.
Yeah.
In the Celtic tradition, it was believed that the goddess Brigid would come to Earth and she would walk around the people on that day until evening, in which in the evening time she would retire back to her realm. And because of that, you have the Brigid doll that they stay up all day with, or all night with, because we are around the fire and we are welcoming spring, and you got to stay up with it.
Sorry. I forgot to put this back on.
That made me go like loop.
Wait, what do you mean hard R, Rick?
Brrr. What does a hard R sound like?
R.
R. But when St. Brigid would come walk the earth during the day, they would leave a cloth material or a ribbon or something out on the bushes or outside of their home for Brigid to walk by and bless. And at night, they would bring the cloth back in, and that cloth would be their protection, or it would be imbued with one of the many things that she has to offer. But it is a blessed piece of clothing. St. Brigid's Day in Ireland. And then we go into what is coming up on the 17th, which we won't have a live for that. It'll be before our next live. So we're going to talk about St. Patrick's Day. I got a little 3-leaf clover. The shamrock.
All right.
St. Patrick.
I like St. Patrick's Day. It's
well,
a fun
first
one
of
to
all,
disseminate.
moving into this, what do you think of when you think of even March in Ireland, in spring in Ireland? Because we went over that with Asia and the cherry blossoms and the melting. So, what is Ireland known for?
I don't know what Ireland's known for, but when I think about
green. Ireland is known for green.
I picture
Green Isles.
I picture moss
everywhere. Ooh, gosh.
Like woodland moss. Like you're just, and it's like
the time I spent in
dank.
Germany, a majority of my camera roll was taken up by pictures of moss. I loved how much moss was over there. I can't even begin to imagine. Just all the green over there. There's just rolling hills
of
green.
You know, like that Windows 98 page.
St. Patrick is seen to be in robes of green. It's all green.
Green for days. And it's like various shades of green too, because it's, you've got like your darker, more vibrant green of grass, and then you got your vibrant, lighter greens of moss, and then your tree sits somewhere in the middle, and it all just pulls together pretty, like, and then you get the golden rays of sunshine. You're like, damn. No wonder why they were like, there's got to be a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, because like they're sitting there staring at these golden scenes all day long. Makes me want to paint.
St. Patrick's Day. Who is St. Patrick's? St. Patrick.
I think he's a con and a fraud, and he did it to subjugate the. No.
You went hard, Brayden. Oh my goodness.
No, but he's definitely, St. Patrick has an interesting history for sure.
St. Patrick is said to be born in 385 AD. There are different sources that say he was born Welsh.
Okay.
And others that say he was Roman. Others say that he was born in Britain. And I found another account that said he was born in Scotland, in Kilpatrick, Scotland.
So is this guy also fictitious, and they just used him to like justify the cause?
Well, the two books that I keep getting referenced, I don't have written down, but they are really old accounts, and some of them are like, I don't know. They're probably what you would call hagiography.
Okay. So there again,
because St. Patrick wrote his own biography.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, so he is a real person.
Yes, we just don't have a good source of exactly
so he has an
who he was. But I did get the name Maywin Sukkot, or Suckit. I mean,
put it to the. Sorry.
He set out to complete something, and he did. He is a 5th century Roman British Christian missionary and a bishop in Ireland. Around the age of 14 to 16 years old, he was kidnapped and made an Irish slave for 6. There was another account that said 10 years.
It's kind of like that one dude off of the Vikings movie. I mean, I know it's not.
I mean, kind
Irish,
of,
but like same
in the opposite way.
Yeah. Different culture, but
I see that relation. Concept, if you've seen Vikings, the TV show on Netflix, it's a good one. But one of the big things that they fuss about on there is that like the Vikings wore so many fucking helmets, and nobody was wearing helmets in there. But you don't get to see the faces for TV and for like, you know. Anyways, rabbit trail, yeah. So he was a slave in Ireland for 6 to 10 years, where he found God, and he
found God in Ireland.
God told him that he needed to escape, and there was a boat waiting for him.
No shit.
And he returned back to Britain, and he became a priest.
Wow, I did not know that part.
Yep, he studied, went back, and
became a priest, and then went back and was like, all right,
he felt called to go back to Ireland, and the Pope told him he should. And he needed to bring
of course the Pope told
God to Ireland. So because of his time as a slave in Ireland, he was well accustomed to uh, the culture, the religion, the practices. They were highly pagan, druidic, earth
So they took
practices.
on some of those practices.
So Saint Patrick
Absorbed.
took some of those practices and he made it a little easier for them to relate into Christianity. So some things like the Celtic cross come from some Celtic roots, and
but they're now used in some Catholic.
But
roots.
they're used in
and let's not forget the
Irish Catholic churches now.
We also have the Protestants.
They're mainly Druid pagans.
I guess they came later, much later, but they're there.
Through his missionary work, in over 40 years, he converted all of Ireland, ridding all the heathens, or the snakes, as they're said in the stories. He completely washed out Christianity.
No, completely washed out Druid paganism.
Yes, sorry.
Whitewashed it with
Christianity over Ireland. Within 200 years, all of Ireland was Christian. It was completely gone.
Crazy wild to think about. Like 200 years is a long time, but it's also not that long, you know? That's 2 generations. It only took them 2 generations to convert them completely. Like, that is crazy fast. Wow.
Yes. I mean, there was a lot of help throughout it too. He died on March 17 in 461 AD. So the Christians observe it as a religious holiday. It is a feast day, and it was officially added to the calendar in the 17th century.
I bet you that probably ties in with like the
It falls on Lent.
Well, and I bet it ties in with the because you said the late 1700s and the late 1700s,
17th century.
So 1798 is when we had the Irish rebellions, and I believe they got their independence around then.
In 1737, Irish Americans in Boston hosted a dinner after founding the Charitable Irish Society. And that was part of that rebellion that came into
play.
Mm-hmm.
Brought the green to the Irish flag.
That was it's still a tradition to this day. In 1762, New York held its first St. Patrick's Day parade. The first St. Patrick's Day parade. And from then on, we get all these ridiculously crazy, intense St. Patrick's Day holidays that get huge. Huge.
I want to make it's my life's mission to at least check out.
Like I didn't know that it goes all the way over into Asia and like Japan. Yeah, I shared a video in the group. The odd little traditions.
Can we be honest though? Like it's like the perfect holiday for everybody to have a reason to drink. Like
it is.
Like there's nothing past it. Like that's what you're going out to do. You're celebrating.
Because of the Irish Rebellion in the 17th century, it was a huge movement of wearing green.
Oh, no way.
So, okay. Well, if we get into that, like, okay, so 1798 was when the Irish Rebellion happened. So before the 17th century, the official color, if you pull up the flags, the official color of Ireland was blue. That's a trivia fact that I learned when I was way back in high school, and I was so proud of it. I bet you didn't know.
I bet you didn't know.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't.
So one of the first flags of Ireland was blue, and it had 3 golden crosses stacked on top of each other. And then the next one after that was
we don't have that one.
No, but it's little 3 stacked crowns on top of each other. But
with that same royal blue that we see
there
on the
were like
side.
5 or 6 flags that were blue before we
finally got green in our flag. In their flag.
We see the flag that we have today, which didn't come out until 1937. We didn't see the green, white, and orange flag. But because of the rebellion, blue. So the British wore red, and the Irish wore green to differentiate themselves from the British. So because they were wearing green, to wear little patches of green around you was to show your Irish pride. And when was she?
Green.
Queen Elizabeth decreed that all artists, all Irish speaking language.
How long
Gosh,
have we been
dang it.
speakerless?
Okay. So don't wear orange on St. Patrick's Day.
All right. Thank you much, Mr. Sir. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Bye.
Oh, thank goodness. Isn't it a blessing that my husband watches my lives to let me know?
Talk about support.
Oh, gosh, he's such a good man. I love him.
I got a bunch of scooters. Mic down. Hey, hey. That's hilarious. I'm over here oblivious.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he was
the
responsible.
stripes on the flag.
Wait, hold on. He was responsible for the deaths of a lot of the Druids in Ireland. How true do you think that is? Because that's also something that I heard, that he was like directly correlated to like rewriting history and putting it in a pretty way. You know what I'm saying?
It's just it feels a lot like the whole burning of the witches.
Thank you, Aubrey. We appreciate that you watch us.
It does feel like the whole burning of the witches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, St. Patrick, oh, what a man. You went through and you killed out the whole.
And like, let's be real here. Like, as far as history goes for England, it's really, there's a lot of their own discrepancies in like.
England really, really wanted Ireland to be Christian, Catholic.
Well, Catholic really wanted everybody to be Catholic. I think that was the Catholic,
prominent thing there because,
back in the day,
whole
that was
decreeing that all artists and pipers be arrested and hanged on the spot.
Oh my
Queen
gosh.
Elizabeth was
That's
not
ruthless.
About any of that like crazy. hubbub. We weren't dancing, we weren't singing, we weren't doing any of the arts stuff.
She got turned down by an Irishman.
Oof, I don't know.
Or an Irishman cheated on her. I gotta find it. I gotta know. Like,
go for it, man.
What
are some symbols? What are some symbols of St. Patrick's Day?
The 3-leaf clover.
The shamrock. 4-leaf clovers. The shamrock. The shamrock. Which is different from a 4-leaf clover.
Why?
Because the little clovers are like this big. Do you know how big a shamrock is?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Shamrocks are like that big, dude. They're huge. They're huge little plants. I'm serious. The little clovers that we find here on the ground are like
clovers. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, they're that big. And tiny. To go through those and find the 4-leaf ones,
I've seen them about this
you have a bigger chance.
But I've never seen them that big.
Yeah,
that would be so
they sell
cool.
shamrock plants.
So I always thought that was like a dramatization when they had the Mad Hatter had it on one of his heads, didn't he?
I think of the Lucky Charm dude.
Oh yeah, him too.
He's got that
big.
It's like
I didn't know they got that.
Yeah,
big.
They get big.
Wow.
Yeah, that was weird to see a shamrock plant. Pretty cool. If you didn't know, little clovers are that big. 4-leaf clover, and they say 4-leaf clover, but they're.
Do they? I thought they said 3-leaf. I'm pretty sure I saw 3-leaf in my notes.
Yeah, 4-leaf clover. Shamrocks have 4 leaves.
That is such a.
They are put together, though. I used to think they were the same thing until I saw a shamrock plant.
That is such a BS answer they gave. Queen Elizabeth's policies towards Ireland, while not necessarily fueled by personal hate, were rooted in a combination of political, religious, and economic factors, leading to a period of significant oppression and conflict. Like, I feel like they just watered down her actual reason. But we have the religious divide back in the 1500s.
Between the Catholic, Irish.
Which became a justification for the English oppression. We've got political control. Queen Elizabeth sought to establish firm control over Ireland, like what England person didn't, or monarchy didn't at the time. Economic exploitation they also had.
Well, I feel like the alcohol prohibition was also really putting a damper on like the expressive-ness was probably.
Yeah. I mean,
were those around the same time?
It didn't last very long in America, so I can totally see that open rebellion because of that. Economic exploitation because of the plantation system, where English settlers were given Irish land. Perception of barbarism. Some historians argue that the English, including Elizabeth, viewed the Irish as barbarians or savages, which further fueled the oppression and justified the use of harsh tactics. Wow, that is like, could you imagine living in that time period? Like with somebody in control with that kind of a mindset? That would be a rough life.
I mean, just to not let them speak their language.
Yeah, like you're just like everything that you want to do is just
the music and the arts.
No wonder why Irish are pissed off little people all the time.
But I don't know. When I think of medieval times and the way that things were, like you're supposed to be modest, and if you don't behave in a modest way, then it's going to be looked down on in the different classes.
Oh yeah. So, can you imagine having all that societal?
There were some serious standards set in those times.
It's no wonder why we have so much ancestral trauma, right? Because we all had ancestors living through some form of another of oppression in those times.
Right? If you have Irish ancestors, lineage.
It's wild to think about. Even thinking
or even
about
English. Oh my goodness.
Just being anywhere over there during that whole time period. I mean, like, think about the Roman Empire. Like, look at how much land they conquered, took over, just ate up so many different cultures and civilizations. They just like the big friggin' rah, rah, rah.
But to be a fly on the wall and to know the different things that were lost during those times.
Yes, that would be wild to be able to know what was once there. Really, how much truth is there really in the folklore that is left behind, the remnants, you know?
Like the Greek mythology.
Yeah, that one's fascinating.
What was it? The Odyssey.
The Odyssey
Homer's Adventure.
was a wild book the first time I
Was
read
there was
through it.
there a Cyclops on the island where there's sirens
Yeah.
around way back when?
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read
Some
that
cool
one.
stuff. I mean, there's written texts of giants and giant skulls found. So like, the possibility of all that stuff being true is just a
Like, yeah, where
I
does
just
the
want to pull back
reality?
the veil and I want to see all the stuff that's missing.
What's the bridge between reality and the fictitious? Because we know there's like, what's the truth line,
Hagiography.
you know? Yeah.
So some little symbols of St. Patrick's Day, the shamrock. The shamrock represents the rebirth of spring. It is also held as a sacred plant by the ancient Celts and Druids. In the 17th century, during the rebellion, it became the Irish national symbol as the English began seizing the land and telling them that they couldn't speak Irish or Gaelic or practice the Catholic religion. So it became a symbol of Irish pride.
Irish pride.
And it is believed that St. Patrick also used the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity.
Stop it. What a lie bastard. Let me give you my own parable.
Yeah.
It even comes with visuals.
And the metaphor that was used in the hagiography of St. Pat, in his biography, St. Patrick used the phrase that he rid Ireland of the snakes. So the snake in Irish stuff is talking about the heathens and the pagan druids.
Yeah, whether he literally rooted them out or metaphorically did it with his words, one way or another, he went in there and slayed.
What do you normally eat on St. Patrick's Day?
Bread.
Corned beef and cabbage is one of the big things.
Bro, I love me some corned beef and cabbage.
Or like the food to be eaten on St. Patrick's Day.
Picturing hoagies.
My mom always made corned beef and cabbage. My ex-husband's family, they made this weird turnip stew. Oh my gosh. It had turnips. I've never had turnips until his mom made it for me, but
what'd you think of it?
They're a lot like potatoes, just a little, there's a different twinge of something in there that makes it not potato-y.
That's so ironic that
yeah, turnips and cabbage
and potatoes are the two
and
things.
Corned beef, I believe, was used in that soup. But yeah, corned beef and cabbage. So traditionally in Ireland, the Irish would eat Irish bacon and cabbage.
Ooh, what's Irish bacon?
But during the 17th century, during the rebellion, people were moving, and over in the Irish immigrants turned to corned beef to save money because the Jewish immigrants, the Jewish butchers, were using corned beef and selling that, and that was more accessible and it was cheaper. Bacon was a luxury item at that time, so in Ireland it was a luxury item that was easily found.
You know, guys, I'm just gonna say it's more closely related to like your Canadian bacon than it is your bacon. It's made from the pork loin, sometimes a bit of the pork belly that's attached, and it's cured. It's not smoked like American bacon is, resulting in a leaner, meaty, and subtly sweet flavor. I'd be down for some Irish bacon.
I just thought that was crazy. I didn't know that.
That is wild. We're just learning all sorts of things today.
And leprechauns. The Irish name Loberian means small-bodied fellow. I could have totally butchered that pronunciation. Lobair.
Anything Gaelic is hard to pronounce, right?
Ein. Small-bodied fellow. That's what leprechaun means. In Celtic folklore, they were cranky souls who mended the shoes of other fairies. They were tricksters. They were known to use trickery to protect their valued treasures.
But they couldn't see you if you were wearing green.
Leprechauns have their own holiday on May 13th.
Stop it.
They do.
Is it called Leprechaun Day?
You know, I didn't actually look up the holiday. May 13th is a leprechaun holiday.
What?
I just had that little thing down.
Con.
And some lore says that leprechauns cannot see the color green. So if you are not wearing green, that's why you get pinched. It's because the leprechaun can see you.
May 13th, there's a holiday called
National Leprechaun Day.
How original. A celebration of the Irish folklore character, the leprechaun. Okay. And then this is everything that you just got done going over.
National Leprechaun Day is not widely recognized as St. Patrick's Day, but it has its own day. In old folklore, they're known to be the menders of other fairies' shoes. I've not heard of that story.
Me either.
It was elves. Elves, the cobbler elves mended shoes. But they are little fellows.
Little fellows.
Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day no matter what you do. Wearing the color green is celebrating Irish pride.
Whether you drink it or wear it, it's
according to Braden's research, don't be wearing orange unless you're decorating like a leprechaun. I thought it was awesome that even in Japan they have big old like dress up like a leprechaun. Everybody's wearing green, and in other places they're lighting up buildings.
Like how? Like what happened to spark it?
I forget where the other place is, but in one of the places they light up all the roofs green.
Well, especially like Japan. Like,
how did it reach over there?
Yeah, that's such a long ways for it to travel way back when. Like some dude Nancy that was like, you know what? I just want to go around and experience all the cultures, and I'm going to tell everybody about the funner ones. That's
probably just how hard the Irish were pushing their pride.
And they were like,
the Irish celebrations.
Yeah. So some philosopher came back to Japan.
Celebration. The parade was just so huge, and everybody's going outrageously wild and
I gotta know
celebrating. Now. I mean, it's widely known that St. Patrick's Day is a day of imbibing and just revelry, music, dancing. There's no, as long as we're celebrating and having fun.
St. Patrick's Day celebrations arrived in Japan in 1992, spearheaded by the Irish Network Japan (INJ) with support from the Embassy of Ireland, aiming to introduce Irish culture to the Japanese people.
In 1992, they had their first St. Patrick's Day parade.
And it's been lit ever since.
It's been lit ever since. That's awesome.
That's good stuff, man.
We like this. We're going to continue doing this. This was fun.
Oh, man. I learned so much.
Woohoo. Spring is
such a nice
St. Patrick's Day right around the corner. And then Imbolc is right around the corner.
I just want to throw it out there, guys. The equinox is right around the corner as well. So, what have you been doing to get yourself ready to kick off with spring? Goals, aspirations, boundaries, any of it. What are you guys working on? Where are you pushing yourselves? What shadow work are you getting done? How are you holding yourself accountable? Where's the growth at? How much growth do you want to have for the year? Give yourself those answers. You don't have to have hard answers. Just give yourself a ballpark. Let yourself start getting inspired, because spring and summer, man, those are production months. This is when you feel the most active. It's when you get the highest vibes of wanting to do all the things. I know summer is
moving into that energy.
Yeah. And summer is the full swing of,
you're in the doing.
Well, it takes me back to school, you had summers off, you had early mornings, you had long nights, you had 12 hours of sunlight to just go out and get it.
Trauma, huh?
I did. Oh yeah. School is a big one for me. So being able to have all of that energy that I had for summer, I like to take myself back to that point, because I did a lot back then. I was excited a lot back then. So I like to remind myself of that energy, and like that's where it's gonna step into come summer, and I can keep that in my head, and maybe all the stuff that we're doing won't be so hard because I'm excited for it because I've got that.
Because we're moving into that
energy,
season.
you know, that whole perspective shifting.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Start changing your thought patterns, guys, if you haven't already. Like, not just have grace with yourself,
We're
but
moving gently into spring, okay?
no,
I just want to throw that out there.
we are not.
You know what? Okay.
We are going full force.
My freaking sinus infection told me to calm the hell down.
You're not wrong.
And don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
And you just went through a sickness too, where you were pushing a little too hard.
You're not wrong.
So we're not going. We do want to hold on to the momentum, but don't go overboard, man.
But get excited.
Get excited. We're getting excited.
And, yeah, but don't use this whole don't go overboard to not push yourself. If you're not comfortable, are you really, truly experiencing growth? That's right. I'm going to say
That's not wrong. It's not wrong. Keep calling yourself out, but don't push too hard.
Yep.
When you start feeling the edges of running into burnout, you know you've already gone too far. So if we can keep that in mind and put some boundaries in place, to keep moving forward little bit by little bit, even if you don't move much. As long as you have movement,
yes,
you are slowly inching towards your goal, as long as you are moving.
And it doesn't matter how arbitrary it feels. It could be something that doesn't feel like it even ties to what you're doing, but you know that it does. You know, like brushing your teeth, maybe just walking into the bathroom. Like, that doesn't directly tie you to brushing your teeth, but being able to just walk in the bathroom is its own accomplishment. And then before you know it, you're like, oh man, I'm pretty close to my toothbrush. Like, I'm already in here. Like, maybe, you know, just little things. Break it down to the minuscules.
In the bathroom, I could do a load of laundry. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. You know what? The shower's right there. If you woke up today and you took a shower,
nailed it.
That was a freaking win, dude.
But don't make
I've had days where that is the win.
But don't make that your only win every time. That's like your special.
Depending on your journey.
That's like your special occasion one. You know, like, don't get me wrong. It's great to get up and shower.
You can't yuck somebody else's
No, and I'm not yucking it.
We're speaking to all the journeys out there.
And I'm not yucking it. I'm like, feel accomplished every time that you take that shower. But also, don't lean on that accomplishment alone to get you through your day every day. You know, don't take advantage of it. It's your special win. Allow it to be a special win. Because if you use it too much, it loses its spice. And then when you lose your spice, you don't want to do the things anymore. And then you're like, fuck, I can't even shower because I can't get excited about it.
But what if we're struggling to just even celebrate that win, man?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to argue all day.
But that's your special win. That's your special time. Like, when you know you're not going to have anything else positive going on in your day, or you don't think you are, you can at least have that. And that can be enough. But if you do that every day, then there's no growth in it, and then it becomes a crutch, and then you get stuck and you're stale. So
maybe you were uncomfortable doing that. So once you get to the point to where you're not uncomfortable celebrating that win, then you know it's time for growth. So you need to keep pushing. Now it's time to push.
Yeah, every time.
Recognizing that, but that's okay. Anyways,
I'm going to be Mr. Hard-ass over here.
I am okay with the fact that I took all of Saturday off because I had a man cold. I had a complete man cold, guys. I was on my bed.
That was my Thursday.
And I couldn't get up. Like, even if people brought game night to me in my bed, I would have been like, I rolled the dice. That's fine.
Sunday wasn't
It just was not today.
Mine was Thursday. Thursday kicked my ass. I couldn't do anything.
And Tuesday I was pretty icky too. I've been coughing like crazy. I was like catching my breath. But Tuesday was supposed to be my note-taking day, and I didn't take notes on Tuesday. And that was okay too, because I did some stuff. And the fact that I got stuff done is okay. Taking the time to rest and heal is okay.
No, it's not. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to argue for the sake of arguing.
So was I.
But, you know, that's the beauty of it, right? Like,
but we're coming into spring. Imbolc is coming. Spring is coming.
Get ready for it. It's going to be a fast rush.
And once it hits, yes, 2025 does feel like things are happening.
And it's not like this tidal wave that's coming to crash over you, but it's like a wave that's just like you're getting pushed whether you want to or not.
People are feeling the flow, I feel.
Surrender, bitches.
Feeling the flow. I'm feeling the flow. I feel like I stepped into a flow state of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too difficult to remind myself that I needed to settle down, and movement is movement, and that's good.
Oh, man. And I got some pretty stellar ideas on how to change the feeling of the space that you're in or the energy that's connected. So that may be something that I toy with. I'm not going to promise right now, guys. Like, I got to catch up on all
as
that
a way
stuff.
getting unstuck. If you feel stuck, changing. Say that again.
Changing your thought patterns around the space that you're in.
As far as rooms go.
As far as rooms go. And not just like changing the way you think, but changing the way that you move in that space. When you do the same repetitive things in that room every time, that becomes what you do. It's the energy. If you train your mind to think about the room with a positive note, like for example, productivity, I want to associate my living room with productivity. So when I walk into my living room, I may touch the wall of my living room to be able to acknowledge the space of the living room and say, productivity. Just think that thought in my head. And then to be able to double on top of that, move differently through your room that you're in. Don't sit in the same spot. Don't sit in the same position. Don't do the same things while you're sitting in that spot. Change up your routine of movement. So if you can do one of those three, it starts to shift. If you can do all of them, you're going to see a super quick shift. But it's really getting your mindset in a positive place and allowing that dense heavy. Because think about it, man. Like, that energy may not be stagnant energy in your house. It may just be so dense that you don't feel you can move through it. It feels heavy to move through. So from there, it's just allowing your thoughts to take on the form of seeing it all dissipate, transmuting it from a thick, heavy energy into a light, productive energy, and allowing your body to start taking on what that feels like. And you'll see your space change. Or you should. I don't know. This is a working in progress thing. So
it's like a form of feng shui, I feel like, because
like a mental feng shui.
Yeah, a mental feng shui in a way. Because even going a step further than that, I feel like organizing your room in a different manner, or rearranging your couch, or changing the color of your living room would invoke a different feeling. Even being intentional about, stepping into the room and realizing the kind of feeling you want to invoke. I had my own little experience where I needed to study, and the idea of studying tells me that I should be in an upright position and at a desk or something, or on my bed, and I wanted it to be on my bed. So I had everything set up on my bed to study, and I just couldn't, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And the idea of preparing yourself to be in the state that you need to be in to study in a loving, gentle manner was just mind blowing to me, because
setting the scene.
Yeah, setting the scene, like lighting a candle, maybe moving from my bed to a desk place where I could have the candle near me and maybe make myself a cup of tea. Just even making myself a cup of tea to study was like, oh, I feel like I could enjoy studying with a cup of tea. You're right. Oh my goodness. Lighting a candle, that sounds like a good study time. I feel like that gives me the aesthetic of like, I'm happy to study. Just changing your thought process, your perspective,
it's huge.
The view of the way that you walk into a room, the way that you set up your study area.
Now, and just think of the ramifications of this, guys. If you can perfect this whole methodology that we're talking about, you can get so good at it that like you can be the energy in whatever room you walk in, regardless of whoever else is there.
Ooh.
So like, you want to be life of the party, you can be life of the party. You want a soft, quiet room that's not going to be full of loud noises, you can walk into a room and create that energy. And people I don't know. This is kind of my own theory here, but I feel like if magic were to exist, it really would be a thing where like people that were more uh, at a higher level of frequency would be able to more likely influence those of
I
lower
could see that,
vibrational frequencies.
just based on that being in a loud room and wanting a quiet room. There's this fun trick that I think it's my dad told me about. If people are talking too loud and you want them to bring their voice down, you start talking softer because they'll have to come down to just to hear you. So they can't have their voice so loud. So a way to trick people into bringing their voice down is to slowly start talking softer.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
So, I mean, you could throw that magic around in a way.
Well, you know, and I think that's just like one part of the magic. That's the beautiful thing about magic. You know, it's multifaceted. And honestly, like you get closer to magic, the more that you find out the logical and psychological processes of life, right? Like learning about quantum physics, learning about physics, it's like one piece of the pie. Psychology is the other piece. But then just think, if you knew psychology with physics or with quantum physics, and then you tap into your spirituality, you essentially have created a powerhouse of magic. Because like, how many people will be able to do what you can do? That just sounds like
alchemy.
Well, maybe that's a form of magic, is it not? Like, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so but
you just have different words for the same thing.
Well, and that's a
similar thing.
That's what I like about magic. Is magic is different and same for everybody. They have their own principles, but it's kind of like religion. There's the truth in all of it, you know? So if you can find the truth in what they're saying, you can see the understanding, you can make the connection. Like I'll say it time and time again. It's like the car. At one time, people would have laughed if you said, I'm going to have a horseless carriage. Like, what's going to pull it? How are you going to make it move without a living thing? You know? And somebody went and did that. That's its own application of magic. He took something from the ether and brought it into physicality. Everything around us, they did that with, you know? Like,
I'm excited.
Think about AI. Think about the little robots. Think about the TVs and like the flex screen and like the RV glasses or whatever it is. Not RV, whatever they're called. Like, damn. Video games are its own wonder if you think about it. Especially from where they started to where they've like evolved to.
Man, we rabbit trail so hard.
Every time. That's our super short show. No, just kidding. Nothing short about this show.
I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy all the different thought trails, the rabbit trails that go. That's the whole reason we started doing this, because there's just so much to it.
And there's so much talking we can talk about. And it always finds its way back to like
other things that we've previously talked about.
That whole self-development dealio.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. The St. Patrick's Day is coming. St. Patrick's Day parade is coming up for our own little town here in Billings.
Do they have a parade?
They do.
I didn't know that.
They have a downtown parade.
I'm such a hermit.
And then they've got music afterwards. Yep, we have our own little St. Patrick's Day parade here in Billings.
What day is the
17th? Tuesday.
That sounds right. That's so fun. I'm going to have so much fun that day.
I don't know if it's on that day. It might be on the weekend, but
it sounds like a weekend thing, doesn't it? Should we find out?
We could share it to the group. We'll share it to the group as well. We could do. We could share the little Facebook event of the parade, or somebody else can. Either way, it'll be shared to the group. When you do have St. Patrick's Day, you will have your own fun little facts and stuff that you can throw at other people.
It will be on March 15th. This Saturday, guys. That's when we will have
St. Patrick's Day parade on March 15th.
I'm gonna take my girls.
The event link. Maybe we'll see you down there.
Yeah.
Ooh, everybody dressed in green.
Do I even have anything green? Of course I have things that are green. It's my favorite.
Do you have anything
color.
else to add?
I don't think I have anything else to add. I'm just jumping back onto this. Oh my gosh.
Later. Happy spring, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Until next time.